Hello, my name is Camilla and I will be talking about the novel City of Glass. I would like to start with a summary of the chapters 1 to 3 and afterwards a characterization of Quinn and Peter Stillman Jr. City of Glass is written by Paul Auster, and the novel starts out with a wrong number phone call in the middle of the night. Quinn, who is the main character, doesn't pay much attention to the call and hangs up the phone. The following night he gets the same call. Someone on the other end asks him for help in a criminal case. The person who called believes that Quinn is a detective named Paul Auster and wants to meet him. Quinn tells the person on the other line that he is not Paul Auster. The third night he gets the same call. Quinn decides to take Auster's identity and goes to the meeting as a man he isn't. The next day he goes to the address given to him. When he comes to the apartment, he meets the woman Virginia Stillman, who leads him to her husband Peter Stillman. He was the one who called Quinn at night. He tells Quinn that he was the victim of a terrible crime. His father locked him into a dark room after his mother died and never spoke a word to him or let him out. He wanted to find out if the child wouldn't hear any language, if it would begin to talk the pure, pristine language of God that was lost now. After 9 years he was found. In the mind he is still a baby. He didn't learn anything. He couldn't walk, he couldn't eat, and naturally he couldn't talk. Many years of therapy and living in the hospital, he's now able to talk with all his concentration but with no understanding of the words he says. After Peter held his speech, Virginia Stillman tells Quinn the reason of his visit. They have received a letter from Peter's father, who is also called Peter, 2 years ago from prison, about how Peter was a devil's boy. Peter's father is about to be released from prison, and he will possibly kill Peter Stillman Jr. Quinn's job is to follow him from the train station home and watch him every day, so he can't come back for Peter. Chapter 3 ends with Virginia Stillman gives Quinn a kiss to let Quinn know what she is capable of. So the characterization of Quinn. Quinn is the main character, and we know that he is 45 years old. He had once been married and once been a father, and that both his wife and son were now dead. It was 5 years ago that he lost his 3-year-old son and wife. He writes books, to be precise, he writes mysterious novels. His main character in his novels are Max Warwick, and he uses the name William Williamson as his author name. As a young man, he had published several books of poetry and had written plays, critical essays, and had worked on a number of long translations. We also know that Quinn has no longer any friends. And the characterization of Peter Stillman Jr. So the first impression we get of Peter Stillman is he is a young man dressed entirely in white with the white blonde hair of a child. And a paragraph in the book says, everything about Peter Stillman was white. White shirt, open at the neck, white pants, white shoes, white socks. Against the pallor of his skin, the flaxen tiness of his hair, the effect was almost transparent, as through one could see through the blue veins behind the skin of his face. Peter was the person who called Quinn looking for Paul Auster. Peter's brain isn't fully developed after the terrible accident, so he is very childlike in the way he speaks, and it's very automatically. And we also know that Peter's father trapped Peter in a dark room for 9 years because he thought Peter could learn God's language.